This is self-empowerment. Coming up on tonight's show, we're going to be looking at the top 3 tips for overcoming addictions. We're going to be looking at your point of focus. Lots of people have contacted me saying they're feeling pretty hopeless about the economic system, the worldwide situation, so we're going to be giving you top tips and strategies to help you address those points. And lastly, in the viewers Q&A, somebody asked recently that they were heavily in debt. And can they do something quickly and instantly that can help change their place of feeling so that they can become more prosperous? So we're going to be talking about those issues on today's show. So, coming up first in feature 1, 3 top tips for overcoming addictions. Now, the thing you need to understand first and foremost about addictions is that they are all a form of tranquilization. As we grow up, experiences happen, we become negative about certain things, and as we suppress those feelings and don't deal with them, over the years they tend to boil up. And it's normally around this time of the year that people start feeling a little bit guilty, they want to give up smoking, they want to lose some weight, and they try 101 different products out there. And really my 3 top tips are: tip number 1, understand that when you're not feeling positive, you're going to tranquilize those emotions, because if you're not dealing with these emotions and you're not making any effort to release them, then you're going to be tranquilizing them on a day-to-day basis. Some people use food, some people smoke cigarettes, some people take drugs. Whatever your fix is, understand that it is a way that you tranquilize on a daily basis. Top tip number 2 really is feeling calm and confident. If you're trying to come off an addiction like smoking, or you're trying to lose weight, then you're going to get cravings for either cigarettes or food. And it's usually when these cravings build up, the anxiety, the stress levels build, and people will just buckle and they grab for the food or they grab a cigarette. Now that pressure, that stress and anxiety is building up inside of you. Nothing external is trying to tempt you to smoke or to eat. So the feelings come from within, and the frustration and the anxiety and the stress tend to build up. Now that's an emotional reaction in your energy system. And if the craving part is the hardest part of you to overcome, I'm going to give you some simple tapping techniques that's going to help you do that. And also, if you're trying to lose weight, then please remember that the key to losing weight is self-love. If you're not liking yourself, or you're not loving yourself, then you're not going to be feeling that good about yourself, and you're going to be tranquilizing and suppressing how you really feel about yourself. So if you actually take a moment to analyze what it is you don't like about yourself, and you can use the EFT tapping technique to relieve and to release those inner feelings about yourself, the weight will drop off. Because when you release those inner emotions, you don't need to tranquilize anymore. Okay, so the cravings tap, it is very, very simple. As you start to crave, there's 4 key acupuncture points to remember. There's above the eye, there's on the bone below the eye, there's the collarbone, and there's right on the back of your hand. And it goes a little something like this. When you're feeling stressed, when you're feeling anxious, when the cravings are upon you, when you're at breaking point, simply break state, change the energy, go out to another room, put some music on and start tapping. And you need one simple affirmation to remember. You might want to get a pen and write this down. It is simply that you're choosing to feel calm and confident whilst taking some slow, deep breaths. So it goes a little something like this. When you're feeling cravings coming upon you, you can break the state, change your energy, go to another room and simply tap. I choose to feel calm and confident. 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 Now, if you can do that for 5 or 10 minutes, your cravings and your energy system will go away, your energy system will calm right down. Okay, so let's look at the next thing. Focus. A lot of people are contacting me in response to a previous request for challenges that people are facing. And a lot of people are saying they're feeling pretty hopeless. They're feeling worried about their future, they're worried about their job, maybe losing their house. They're worried about the strain that it's putting on their family, relationships and children. And really what you have to understand is that in any major world economic collapse or natural disasters, there are always people that are affected by those disasters, and there are always a whole bunch of people who aren't affected by that disaster. And I had an interesting conversation thread on a YouTube video this week, where somebody had made a video that was talking about 2012 and the fact that a big comet's going to smash into the Earth and we're all going to die. So I put a simple comment saying, why are you making videos that are creating fear about the future when actually you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, let alone in 2012. So really, it's your thoughts that attract your experience. And if you're feeling hopeless about the future, if you feel that bad things are going to happen, that wars are going to increase and this world is just going to collapse, then you will be inviting that into your experience by having it in your thought form, by thinking about it, maybe watching videos about doom and gloom. It's going to put you in a particular place, and when you're fearing things, you start drawing them to you. And it's exactly the same when you change the focus. When you switch off the mainstream media, you switch off all the conspiracy videos, you stop listening to people telling you what's going to happen in a few years' time, because they don't actually know. I don't even know. I've got a pretty good idea based on my research and my instincts, and that is all clearly pointing me to a golden future. One where prosperity and abundance will be there for everyone to have. And what you're seeing now is the breakdown of the old power systems that have been put in place on this earth. Banking systems, they're collapsing because they were built on unethical foundations. All those companies out there not in truth that have been ripping people off for years are coming down. And what you will see rise up are the millions of small businesses that care, that are in truth and that give good service. They're the people that are going to prospect through this downturn and through this recession. So this really leads me on to summarise by saying, if you're feeling fearful and if you're feeling hopeless, then it's because your thoughts and all your energy is focused on the doom and gloom. And if you can switch that to prosperity, or switch that to thinking about things that bring you fun and joy, the way you feel and the experiences you attract to you will change. This gentleman on YouTube said to me, what am I going to do when all these doom and gloom things happen? And I simply replied, I have not invited that into my experience. I don't give it any energy, I don't think about it. As far as I'm concerned, the journey I'm going down is towards the golden age of this planet, where prosperity and abundance are around us all the time, where the truth is revealed and nothing is in secret, where we have no borders on the countries, we have no military in place, we have no governments, because when you get all of those people out of the way, us the people can take back our power and we can sort it out ourselves. Okay, so this leads me on to the final feature, which is the viewers Q&A. Now, somebody contacted me this week and said that they were heavily in debt. What can they do right here and now to change their place of feeling? And it's really, really quite simple. You have to see through the veil that is the credit system and the economic monetary system that we have in place. Now, when you go to a bank and you sit down there, you talk to a very nice person in a suit and you agree a loan. What they do is, as soon as you fill your paperwork in, they punch that into a computer and the computer says yes or no. If the computer says yes, you get your loan. The very nice person that sat there with a suit, gave you a cup of tea, probably will never see your file again, and you probably won't ever see them again. Because once you have done the meet and greet bit and the bank has done their pleasantry and showed you their human side, you're then passed over to a computer. And if you don't pay your bills, that computer gets very angry. And that computer will generate letters and it will send them to you. And it will also generate and prompt call centres for people to call you and ask where the money is. But what you really have to understand is that you owe this money to a computer. It's nothing personal. You don't owe it to that very nice lady or gentleman you met when you first went to the bank and filled out the forms. They're not losing any sleep over it. In fact, if you owe money to a bank, no one in that bank is losing any sleep if you're not paying your bills. Okay, because a computer makes decisions and a computer doesn't feel like us. A computer is impartial. It does not care. about you or I. It just responds to what it's been programmed to do. And if you don't pay your bills, there's a little program that says send these people a letter with a fictional name on, George Smith, head of banking. Well, you'll probably find George Smith doesn't exist. That's just an alias or a pseudonym for the bank. So you have to see through the veil, you have to rise above and realise this is not personal. And what I suggest that you do initially is contact your local debt agency run by your local government. In the UK we have the CCCS, and it's extremely helpful, and they will tell you exactly the way things work, because when you get calls from people in call centres demanding money, unfortunately these people have become a little imaginary, and they tell you things like bailiffs are going to visit and we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and in fact until something's been through the courts and a decision has been made, a judgment has been made against you, only then in this country can bailiffs then be dispatched. If it's still at the point where it's with a collection agency, the collection agency has no power to take you to court. So what I would suggest you do is, my top tip of the week really to get out of debt is, first, change your focus. Stop thinking about debt. Stop looking at debt. Go to your fridge, get the bills off your desk and put them in a box, and let that box worry about the bills whilst you focus on prosperity and ways which you can expand your income opportunities. Now that box will look after those bills, and it will store them and it will keep them nice and warm and cozy. But to be honest, until you've got money coming in, the box is none of your business. And the way I got myself out of debt was I put all my bills in that box and I said, right, you can look after them, you can worry about them, I'm going to make some money. And then when some money comes in, I will make it my business to go to that box, pull out a debt and offer them something. So in future episodes, I'm going to be teaching you other tips and strategies about overcoming debt and seeing through the corporate scam that is the credit system. So that's the end of today's show. If you go to mygenie.tv, you'll find a whole video library full of different educational videos, how-tos, that can not only teach you to feel well, but can also show you how to get out of debt, how to create abundance, how to eliminate any health issues in your life, because at the end of the day, we all just want to feel good. We're all sick of wars, we're sick of stress, and now is about becoming self-empowered and taking back your power. So, this is David Childerley, and I'll see you on a future episode of Self Empowerment.